Hey guys, it's Marty. Welcome to Tuesday at Two Lines. Hopefully everybody's having a great Tuesday. Week is going well. And we're here to talk about some slot car stuff. I really don't have anything on the agenda. Usually I come with a game plan. So I don't know. I don't know what we're getting into. Maybe we'll see what's going on in the chat. Maybe we can run some laps. I don't know. We'll figure out what we're going to get into, but let's see who is waiting to fingers. Happy Tuesday. John Albright, Chris Freder, Slot Car Hub. Gina is in the house. Hey, Gina. Welcome. Good to have you. Hey, Chris. Home from work and Taco Tuesday dinner. Taco Tuesdays. Can't complain about that. Hey, George. George, that was a fun live stream last night. Thanks for hosting that. Hey, Drake. Good to have you. Welcome. Who else do we have? Revo Slot. What's that? Actually, I was just running a couple laps with my Datsun, the 510. Pretty good running car. Running 5.9s. The track is not clean. I probably haven't wiped it off for a couple of weeks. You know, summer is upon us, and it's getting harder and harder to get laps in right now because we've got so much work to be doing outside. But yeah, I got a few laps in before we went live. It was good. John is a card carrying Revo slut. Nice. Hey, John Tucci. Hey, Haggison. Welcome. One is better than none, definitely. But it's one of those that you can't just have one. I think once you get your hands on one, if we're still talking about Revo slots, yeah, you end up with 2 or 3. Not quite my fly problem, but, you know, I think I have 4. I think I have 4 Revo slots. 5 Revo slots. I have 5 Revo slots. You should never count. Shotgun Dave, welcome. Guys, I hope everybody's doing well. Hey, Larry. Thanks for tuning in again this week. Daryl Rogers is in the house. Michael Squire is in the house. That is one of the things I want to talk about. I have got to get started on my land barge. Gosh, I don't know why I'm procrastinating. Yeah, I don't know why I'm procrastinating on that. I'm doubting my ability to solder a clean chassis. So, but I saw that that George kind of hinted around about potential live stream tomorrow. That might be a good fix for me. So we'll see. Good evening, guys. Shotgun Dave, appreciate that. Hey, Daniel. Hey, So Fast. Good to have you. Hey, Don. And lots of people in the chat tonight. Guys, welcome. Hey, Gary. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully this is worth your time and your energy and effort making it on Tuesday nights. And like I said, I don't know exactly. I don't have a great game plan. Like most Tuesday nights, I come in with some sort of game plan, and then I kind of feed off of what's going on in the chat. But tonight, run rubber, less cleaning. I know, John, but then we can't test for the club. So, I mean, I guess over the summer, since we're not really racing at Cincy Slots until late this fall, I guess I could convert. But as you can see, I haven't moved. Whoa, hey. As you can see, I haven't moved the track yet. Honestly, we've been so busy. But I'm considering if the track gets moved to John Marks, even just for a couple of weeks, might start on a project. I don't know. We'll see. I got so much going on this summer. We have 6 weddings. It's right now graduation. My niece, shout out to Emma. She does not watch the live stream, but they do like running on the slot car track. She graduated, has her graduation party this weekend, and she graduates this weekend, so I'm proud of her. Congrats to her. She'll be off to college at the end of the summer. Why have one when 12 will do, Chris? That's right. I'm not to 12. I'm not at that level yet. Tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. All right, George. That sounds exciting. Hey, Vin. Hey, Nick V. Hey, Cyberg. Yeah, man. That's why we record them. So thanks for jumping in and saying hello. Hopefully you'll get to catch up. Hopefully it'll be worthwhile watching the replay. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Slot Journal. Working on your track tonight? Let's see here. Hey, Doug. Yeah, good crowd tonight. Hey, Grand Santa Man. Slot Car Hub. Question. Any more about that building down the street for rental? So somebody rented the building we were looking at. That's just right across from the house. We could probably still use that temporarily if we wanted to. I just feel bad intruding. So I think we're going to set up at John Mark's, one of his bays in his garage, and anyway, just so we can host the event. We're looking at the end of June. I gotta lock that up this week. So yeah, so we can make an announcement. How about controllers? Still struggling with the DD301. Too bad there isn't a plug and play for Carrera. Yeah, Larry. A couple weeks ago, I put out the track piece that I built for Daryl's track, so that it could be plug and play, and that is an easy way to do it. It's not difficult. Just got a little bit of wiring to do. The wiring diagram is real easy. But yeah, the analog controllers are great, especially the ones that have the sensitivity and brake control, and even some of them have the traction control and some other adjustability to them. But if you only go 2-wire, then you don't have brakes. And not that you can't enjoy slot cars without brakes, but having some brakes, you can really dial in your controller and really help a car out. So I think that wiring that up, it's easy. Don't be afraid of that project. Watch my video. There's a few others out there, some wiring. George has got track wiring videos. If you don't have a digital control box to switch from, if you're digital and need to switch to analog, I've got a video on that too. A couple of them. I built my own box, and then I also did some testing, and I'm running the Ultra 4, the axle box, which is a great product for the price. Gosh, it just does a great job, and it's very reasonably priced. So you have options out there. It's just no one makes an analog track piece with driver stations built in, which is one of the things that Dave Kennedy a few weeks ago was his editorial was about. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, Michael Squire. I just got a message from Michael Squire that looks like it has a picture of his zipper top. Looking good, Michael. That's a great looking car. Well done. Yeah, I gotta get started on that. I mean, I have the brass to do it. I think I've got the. If I'm looking around here, I've got some wheels. The one thing I don't have is tires, so I'll have to order some tires. But I do have wheels for it. I do have a motor bracket. I do have brass. So I have the motor. I've got the motor. So I'm almost there. I just need to get it started. Hey, Steve. Steve, man, your video that I posted about your track is done really, really well. Guys really like that track. Well done, man. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Good to have you. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Dave. No worries, man. Good to have you. I know it's late there. I know you've got a big week coming up, so hope you enjoy that. Good for you. I'm going to make sure my camera is tracking my face so I don't have my focus breathing on me. Working on maybe switching to Scale Auto Track instead of Carrera. Wow, Steve, that is big news, man. You have a great Carrera track. Would it be the same layout, only in Scale Auto? And what is, I already know the answer to this question. I'm going to ask it anyway. Why the decision to possibly move to Scale Auto? A lot of guys, I mean, the grip level is great. It's somewhere between Carrera and Polycar. Not as much grip as Polycar, but way more than Carrera. Daryl was in LaGrange yesterday getting an oil change. There you go. So, Steve, that's big news. Daniel, I've just bought a DS Basic 3 analog controller, and it has 3 wires, where the Carrera Evolution is 2-wire setup. I wanted to use the plug from the standard controller. Daniel, you can still do that. You just won't have brakes. So I'm trying to remember which color is brake. Is it the red wire? Is it the brake? So yeah, you would just have to figure out how to wire that plug up. You can use that. You just won't have any brakes. I think the easy thing would be to just DIY yourself a driver station. I mean, the slot car corner driver stations are nice, and they're not expensive. But you don't have to even spend that kind of money on a driver station. Let me throw a microphone on here. Hold on. Let's see. And we'll walk over. And we'll walk over to the track, and I'll show you my driver stations. Well, maybe. Let's put that on. Let's do this. Level. Check 1, 2. All right. Let's see if I can get my camera to work. It decides when it wants to connect and when it doesn't want to connect. It kind of drives me crazy. Concurrence. And of course, this camera is not going to Yep, not working. Hold on. See if I can get it to turn on. Nope. Well, that stinks. Okay. All right. Well, I was going to, if I could get my phone to connect so I could go wireless, I was going to show you my driver stations. But they're pretty simple. You just need some brass screws, some nuts, a little piece of wood, and some paint. I painted the colors on it so you don't get confused. Really, really very easy. So, yeah, we'll see about if that finally turns on at some point. I'll go over and look at it. Let's see. Wow. Why did that go all the way to the top? Steve, I'm not sure what I should do other than I know that Scale Auto might be a part of the national events, so maybe I stay with the same layout and just switch track, but I know it doesn't match perfectly. Yeah, the turn radiuses are just, the geometry is a little different than Carrera. So an R1 is smaller than a Carrera R1, just like Polycar and Scaly is as well. So I figured that was the answer. Hey, 66 Slaughter. Good day. Welcome. Hey, Brandon. My out of office has been on Greg. That's great. Since 1:30 of 03. Dave, Michael Squire, I would say the Polycar would. I think the Scale Auto will equate the same as it's more abrasive than Carrera, but you'll get less wheel spin. Steve, you're willing to take suggestions on a layout or about the Scale Auto? Oh, new track designs for 4-lane Scale Auto. Yeah, the problem is just you've got this huge investment in Carrera track and borders already, which makes it difficult to like pack all that stuff up in boxes and put a new layout out. Yeah, I get it, but it would be fun. A great 4-lane. I mean, you have a big enough table that your present 2-lane you probably could build as a 4-lane that's really close and still fit on that table. That would be interesting. That would be a fun layout too. Hey, Joe. What's up? Welcome. Glad you're here. Hey, Bob. Good to have you guys. Hey, B2. Yeah, man, we got a lot. That's my feeling at this point. Have a layout in mind. It's 4-lane, 93 feet long. Steve, what are you designing that in? Are you designing that in a planner, or are you just kind of think you have it figured out in your head? Hey, Mark. Thanks for coming. I'm running Carrera now. Like you said, the Scale Auto has better track connections. Yeah, I had somebody ask me in a comment in one of my videos today about Steve's track and, seeing pieces of track that weren't completely connected perfectly. And I think that's one of the things that the connectors for Carrera, they don't really hold the track together tightly. And so you have the opportunity to like get a track that's pretty close, but it's not perfectly square. So that's kind of handy, where it's still connected, but you got a little bit of a gap. I have that on this track. It's close, but I've got a gap right here in that turn across the bridge, right there. And there's a couple of other gaps throughout. It's hard to get it perfect. It really, really is. And for guys who do, like, it's impressive. It really is. But I noticed that the connection for Scale Auto is a great connection idea. I mean, it really locks the track in, and it doesn't really have a chance to come apart. I really like the design, but if you design a track and it doesn't meet up perfectly, then you're going to have to keep designing because it's not going to come together. So, yeah, I get it. It's a tough decision to change your layout. I mean, that's one. I guess we could talk about that. Like, there are lots of things that I look at when I'm designing the layout, and you can ask my brother, and John Mark. I probably, anytime that we've changed the layout, I've probably sent them 20 or 30 different layout designs. And a lot of them are real close, very similar, just have little changes. And the changes usually are about a track that's easier to marshal. We spend a lot of time with 3 people on this track, which is why I wanted to do 4 lanes. But we spent a lot of time with 3 people on the track. And it's hard to marshal a track with just 3 people, and if they're all racing. So I design a layout that is fairly easy to marshal. This track, this layout is really easy to marshal. There's basically 2 turns that 98% of the time we come out on. And we're not, it's a pretty easy reach. So like that's, so I can understand being conflicted. It takes a lot of energy and effort to change the layout, get to the design, then it's got to flow right. And then, like the first iteration of this, I was missing a few track pieces to really make what I wanted. So I made something that I had pieces to make, and I did. It was okay. I didn't love it. And then I got the track pieces I needed and finished the layout the way I wanted, and it flows so much better. And it was just a few simple turns, but it's a tough decision to change your layout. I mean, that's the one thing about a wood layout is you're kind of stuck with it without major reconstruction, right? But with the plastic track, that's the handy. It's really convenient because you can make changes to your layout, and that's kind of part of the fun for me. But I do love racing on a wood track. It's just we've kind of gotten spoiled at Butch's track. It's fun to be on a wood track, and it's just different. It's not that I don't love being on my Carrera track. It's just wish I had a bigger space and could have both. I did driver stations. The Carrera station didn't like it and had to eliminate the Carrera station. Chris, it's because analog Carrera is wired opposite of normal analog. So that's probably what bit you is that. Maybe. Joe has a question. Marty, in a previous video, you showcased a chassis flattener tool. Yes. Did I have problems? Did I have a trouble alignment of the axles after? I did not. The twist was up front, and I actually have it right here. And I did not have, well, this is the second one I did, but it had the same issue as the first one. And this one's perfectly flat and I did not have any problems with the axles lining up. Shouldn't be an issue. The rear axles are on your pod, so that's not an issue. But the front axles, I did not have any problems with that. Great tool. I've got it in the box over here. It does a nice job. It does performs as advertised. It's just the instructions aren't great. Yeah, no worries. No worries at all. But yeah, no problems with alignment issues. Hey, thanks, Daryl. Roast coffee and a like button. I actually used the last bit of my roast beans to fix my wife a cup of coffee right before I went live. Bobcat left a message for you. Wasn't sure if you received it. There you go, B2. Heck yeah, roast coffee. I love their home roast. Chris, they actually they have a new roast called the Pioneer, and it's a play off of their Brazil, and it's really, really good. The Brazil is still my favorite, but hey, it's a secret Weber. Welcome. You also have to have enough interest to justify the cost, unless that doesn't matter. True. Steve Sweeney, question. Is anyone else disappointed with the quality of Sideways Skyline? Mine must have been on the boat that hit the bridge. Steve, you're talking about this only in the new livery, correct? Focus. Yeah, I love the new livery in this. I don't have any problems with mine. Mine performs really well. Ooh, I need to clean the braids. They're dirty. This is a great running car. So no, I've not had any issues. The new one, I think my brother ordered it. I don't know if he's received it yet or not. I think it shipped out on Thursday or Friday last week. But yeah, this is a great running car. So not disappointed. So I'm not sure what you ran into. We usually see around 20 guys when Steven hosts races. Yeah, he gets a great turnout. Mainly it's because it's such a nice track to run on. I won't get that kind of turnout. I don't have my track's okay. It's not nice like like Steve's. It's good. It's just Steve's is decked out. It's fantastic. Yeah, Marty, my Carrera gaps open all the time. Plus, old track can have a bump when connected to the newer pieces. Yeah, Michael, I did buy some used straights from Bruce, and I noticed that there's a few of them that I get a bump when in the connection. But all in all, my track stays together pretty good. I just have a couple of small gaps that we have to deal with every once in a while. Let's see. Yeah, there are parts available, and you can do 3D printed parts too to keep it connected. But I changed the track up frequent enough that I don't go through that trouble. It's called Ultimate Racer. It only works on PC though, I think. I missed that question, Steve. I have looked at Ultimate Racer. I didn't like it as well as. Oh wait, you're using Ultimate Racer as the Scale Electric or the Scale Auto track builder, because it does have a track building function. That's cool. Okay. I'd love to see your design if you want to send it to me. I'll give you some feedback. I love track design. It's one of my favorite things to do in the hobby. I enjoy it as much as I enjoy racing these cars. Dave, Marty makes a valid point. I was shown the Scale Auto track connection system. It's very accurate. It makes the track joins dead flat, but it really does need to resolve perfectly. Yeah, and that's the one thing you can get. You can kind of fudge some things with the Carrera track, that I don't think you can with Policar and Scalato, and that's okay if the geometry works out. I mean, you have more options from a geometry standpoint. So, I mean, I think that sometimes fudge factor helps with building and making the connections. I agree. Yeah, that is a very valid point, because you sometimes, and even the planner, I noticed the online planner that I use is great, and it gets you really, really close. But you'll see that, like, you'll have one section that doesn't match up perfectly. And I noticed that I designed a track 2 layouts ago, and it asked for a quarter straight in a section, and it actually needed a 1/3 to fill the gap, because the gap was a little bigger than it showed in the software. So I think sometimes you'll run into that as well. Whatever I do, I'm open for designs. Nice. But I love my track, and I'm very, Steve, you should. I mean, it's one of the nicest tracks I've ever seen. I've done tons of research on Carrera layouts, on wood layouts. I mean, I've done a ton of research. I've looked at literally thousands of layouts online and designed. I mean, I'm up to like 120 designs that I have saved in the app, that I've done. And then I'll see a video, and I'm like, ooh, I like that design. There was a 6-lane Carrera track that I liked. And so then I basically watched the video and designed it in the designing software. So I may try to, so I may have to try Ultimate Race. Hey, DJ Patrick, welcome. Yeah, it is PC only. Yeah, and I'm a Mac guy. But I do have a thanks to Scott, I have a great PC. He hooked me up with a unit that was getting discontinued. Small gaps are not a big issue as long as the rails are making solid connection. Yeah, John, that's what we run into here. The gap here on this corner is, I don't know, it's an 1/8 of an inch maybe, and we don't have problems. We don't lose power. Hey, Slot Car League of Champions. I can say whatever I do, it will be amazing, because I always do things the right way. Yeah, no, I get that. You are, you're a bit of a perfectionist. That's okay. That's why your track is the way it is. So yeah, no reason to apologize for that. Although I don't think you apologized for it. It just, I believe you, and people will want to come race on it. Right. No, I get it. Yeah, you'll just change it up if you don't like the layout. Very type A. Get some electrical wire, twisted, stranded, strip all the insulation off, and feed it through the rails along all those shaky pieces. Okay, so Slaughter and I were talking, and that was one of the things that he picked up from, I think, Ian and Doug at Magnetic Racing, that they do a lot in Europe, is on this plastic track, they run long sections, so they don't use jumpers. They basically take wire and run through the rails through multiple pieces of track, just so that it acts like one big piece of track. And I found that to be very curious. And then I might try that when I rebuild the track instead of doing jumpers. So, does anybody else do that? But Dave and I had a long conversation about it. So yeah, just strip all the insulation off and then feed that wire through all of the track pieces. So you might have, like this front straight, I would have wires that run all the way through from one end to the other. So making it basically one giant piece of track from a wiring standpoint. So you would definitely get better connectivity for sure. I thought it was a great idea. Yep, good idea. You can thank Nico. Oh, Nico is the one that did that. Okay. It was the one that recommended that too. I thought that was Doug and Ian. So my bad. Thank you, Nico. That's a good idea. I would probably give my Carrera track to Daryl. Then Daryl will just take your existing layout. So Daryl, you better build a big, gigantic table, buddy, to put that layout on. Marty, listen to you complaining about space. Sorry, Greg. Yeah, I shouldn't complain. I know. He got you started. That's great. There you go. Well, if you have to. That brown bison layout is awesome. I really, really good video you did. Were there problems that day? No problems on that track. That track is great. That's the track that's Steve's track we're talking about. The brown bison. It's a wonderful track. Brandon, what is the PN for the land barge chassis kit? That George is announcing that tomorrow, the 124 chassis. And I don't think there's a reason why you wouldn't be able to use it with a 125th scale model kit. But I don't know. The details will come out tomorrow. Bill Royal. I modified a Carrera digital track clip for my track to keep things very tight. I had a fair amount of trouble with that once I added banked turns. Yeah, adding banked turns, things shift a little bit because the turns are not exact. I might buy a Ninko set. They used to use Ninko track at the 24-hour Le Mans race because of the grip. Yeah, a lot of people love Ninko. Marty, who sells the flattener? Gary, you can get that flattener from Slot Car Corner, LEB, Professor Motor. I think most of the retailers online. I don't know if Billy and Amanda carry NSR stuff. I don't think so, but you can probably get it from Alan out at 132, or I'm sure Marco has it at Electric Dreams. So you can probably order it from anywhere. B2, dang, I forgot my question. B2, did I forget your question? Q. Well, don't forget to ask it. Now I remember. Okay. I broke both back wheels. Now I remember I broke both back wheels of the axle of my Monogram 64 Ford Cobra. Any suggestions for a repair or replacement solution? So I don't own a Monogram. I don't know what size axles. Hold on. No, it's a Ninko. I was going to say, I thought I had one of John Mark's. He's got a Cobra, but it's a Ninko, not a monogram. Anybody in the chat be able to help B2 out that has a monogram? I am sure that you could probably find a cool set of staff wheels to go on that Cobra, and replace those out. CB probably has some wheels that would work. You just get your calipers out and measure them so you know how big they are, and you should be able to replace it. And I would think that you could, a gear, maybe slotted axles and gears. Is it an inline? I don't know anything about the monogram, but B2, I'm sure that there are parts out there that you could let's see here. Two problems with flattening. Oh gosh. Two problems with flattening chassis. Too much heat and or not giving them ample time to cool. So what I did was I used when I fired up that chassis flattener, I basically used it in its standard configuration. And I went about 2 hours and just watched it to make sure that looked over it wasn't melting or anything. And then I left it on there for at least 12 hours to cool overnight. I didn't get to it until later the next evening. So it was almost 24 hours before I pulled it off the flattener, and it didn't have any problems. Yeah, John, I watched those, and they don't really talk anything about like the settings. They basically tell you how to turn it on and use the defaults, and there's not a lot of detail. So, and I'm not sure that I provided much more detail. It's a pretty simple device. Turn it on, put the chassis on it, put it down with the magnets, turn it on, let it heat up. It'll go, for however long you think it takes to get the chassis straight, get that plastic nice and warm, and then let it cool off. So it's not a lot of instruction, but when it comes to like what the preset settings are, there's a bunch of different things on this card. Like, what does all that mean? And it won't even focus on it. But like, what is that? What do those numbers mean? P0 equals H, P1 equals 0.1, P2 equals 80 degrees, P3 equals 55 degrees, P4 equals 0.0, P5 equals 0, P6 minus P7 minus P8 equals off, temperature dot SV equals 60. Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. I can't even decipher what it's supposed to mean. I think that those are the temperature settings. But what is H? What is 0.1? What is 80 degrees, 55 degrees? Those are Celsius, because that's what it measures the temperature in Celsius. But yeah, that was the only problem I had, John. But for the most part, it was pretty easy. You might need snips to remove. Gotcha. The zip ties. But John is right. Those are the problems you run into when flattening a chassis. Hey, Anthony. What's up? Good turnouts for nice track or good food. Yeah, DK Moon. Yeah, that's how you get people, right? Let's see what else we have. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody's question. Has anyone received their Thunderslot Ferrari Can-Am yet? Nope. No notice about when it's delivery. I would say sometime in June. That's just a guess. I think they were shooting for the end of May. Well, we're at the end of May and I'm not heard anything. But yeah, the estimated release was at the end of the month. So I'm guessing if it does ship, it might be on the last day of the month if we're fortunate enough. Let's see here. Hey, Mad P, welcome. John D, track geometry. The table surface may grip the track too much, stopping the track moving to its correct geometry. Yeah, I mean, you can run into that a little bit. There's all kinds of things that can create those gaps. Once the weather calms down, our backyard slot car track will be back outside. I love changing the track weekly. I tend to keep a certain sections and change others. Yeah, you find things like the S turns back here. I love those S turns. They're a lot of fun. And I always try to have a section like that in my layouts because they're challenging, and you've got to drive through them, and learning to drive quickly through them and control your car is all time in your laps. And so I think that having some challenging spots in your track is always worth it. So, but yeah, Chris, I might rearrange some of the track, but those S turns probably stay relatively in one piece, right? Chassis warped, interior flopping around from burned off well mold studs, axle supplied too short for the front end. Wow. Yeah, Steve, that doesn't sound like a typical sideways car. Not for beginners. Hey, Dan Wiley. Hope you're doing well, man. Good to have you. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Basically a wood track like the braid or copper tape. I looked at so many tracks in Carrera and Skillectric, and I got 4 sheets of MDF. Well, that's a good place to start, right? Get an idea of what kind of space you have, and yeah, I thought about doing the same thing. I have a design for a wood track that I think would fit this space really well. But I'm not good at CAD, so drawing it out precisely. I've started some graph paper and mapping shapes out on 4x8 sheets of MDF, and then piecing those together. So maybe once I get it done, I'll post it out there for people to kind of judge and tell me how bad of a design it is. Anthony, but I have enough real estate, but now I'm thinking copy my track, slot cars, Corvette track from Lindy Slot Cars. Thinking copy my track, slot cars, Corvette track. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing. My table is about 8 by 20. That's actually a great track size. This is 8 by 24. I've got a little section that I've cut off right here to accommodate my plumbing, just so we can get around it. But Daryl is going to do a 4-lane with driver stations at the 4 corners to change drivers' perspectives. I noticed that the track at Cloverleaf does that. That there, I think it's a 6-lane. Is that right? 5-lane, and there are driver stations all around the track, and so as you move from lane to lane, your perspective of the track changes, which is a challenge. That's definitely challenging. Dusty used to always park over here when we were running digital all the time, and he got used to racing the track from this side. When we moved to the other side, the driver station's over here. He struggled a little bit to get used to it. It took him an evening to. Daryl's got a 12 by 30 table. Well, you can definitely fit. I think you can fit Steve's layout design on that 12 by 30 table. Slaughter, I'm getting a load of secondhand Carrera track for the same, which is how the conversation with Nico about wire came about. Yeah, I'm going to try that. Hey, Wild Man. Welcome. Glad to have you. So, yeah, track design is one of those things that's, everybody likes their track, right? You build it. Some people like oval tracks, and, that's one of the cool things with the land barge project that, we're playing around with an oval so we can do some testing. But like that's kind of the fun part of this, right? Is everybody has different tracks, so that when you go to somebody else's house and race, it's not the same as your layout, and it's fun to learn a new layout and a new flow and try to get good at that. And I think that's what's fun about visiting other tracks. Some of the European tracks that they post are gigantic. Oh my gosh. I mean, they sprawl, and they're just really, really long with lots of technical curves and straights, and they crisscross the room, and they definitely design tracks different than we do here in the States, I feel like, when it comes to those tracks, like the big Policar, the big Skill Auto, the big Ninko that they run on for like the national races. Yeah, interesting. Oh, George, it is a 125th kit. Gotcha. Awesome. Even better. Hey, Johnny Pro. So we'll find out all about that kit tomorrow night. So that's exciting. Sebring chassis Cobra, an inline with FF style motor. Okay, that must be going back to the question that the BS asked, right, about repairing that monogram, or B2. I heard Ferrari may arrive mid-June. I'm guessing that's probably B2. That's when it's gonna hit. I would say that it's probably more like June. Hey, Tom, thanks for joining. B2, if it has a stub that sticks out and you have the broken pieces, you can buy aluminum tubing and a tubing pipe cutter and make collars that will fit snugly over the stub and glue them back together. Don Young, 1/8 axle on the monogram. Okay. That's cool, Chris. Yeah, I would have to see a picture of what's broken to get an idea of how that might be. You might be able to find a 3D printed chassis out there to repair it if it's a problem with the chassis. Rear axle diameter in my 1/32 monogram Ferrari has 2008 copyright. .22 millimeters. Got it. Curvy Road question: tabletop wood, MDF, or OSB? Curvy, just for the tabletop, a tabletop wood track, yeah, you would want to use MDF. OSB is not smooth enough. It's got too much texture. Unless you were building like a rally track, I guess. Then you might like that texture. But if you're just talking about like a tabletop to put a track on top of, like with mine, I used OSB. I think 7/16 OSB for the tabletop, and it works great. No issues. Anthony, I have MDF. It's a lot cheaper than plywood. Yeah, 7/16 OSB is pretty cheap. It was like, I don't know, $11 a sheet. It wasn't too expensive. I know the broken pieces are somewhere on the workbench. Where? Not sure. That is an awesome idea. I'll take some pictures and put them on Facebook page. Okay, cool. Yeah, B2. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the home racing world forum that know exactly how to fix your issue, especially if we can see a picture of it. Don Young, 60s monogram, we're 1/8 inch. The 2000s era China-made Revell monogram or MRRC cars are very different. Probably will get the foam cutter next week and start sectioning out my layout and post again. Awesome. That's good to hear, grandson of man. Forgive me what I'm having my phone a lot of times they don't proofread. Gotcha. It's all right, Anthony. No worries. 12 by 30 is awesome. Yeah, that is a large layout. Hey, Raul, welcome, man. Good to have you. Thanks for joining. Marty, could you fit 415 bank track on your table? Yes. 415 bank is just shy of, it's like 6.5 feet. So, yep. My table's 8 foot wide. So, yes, a 415 bank would fit. We had a 330 bank on this with 2 pieces of straight in the middle, and it fit on the 8 foot table too. Which Cobra are we talking about? The Daytona? Yeah, Brandon wants to know, B2, what is your Facebook? Yep, Raul is in the house. Raul, great coverage, man, of the UK Slot Festival. Thanks for sharing all your footage. You did an awesome job. I was living vicariously through you and Slot R and Massimo and Nico. You guys were all putting out great content around it. So sounds like you guys had a fun time. So I'm glad you were able to make that trip. I'm excited for you. Yeah. Yep. 415 is about 7 feet. Yeah, it's a little over 6.5 feet. Just shy of 7. Bill Royal, Suzuka. I would say that my track layout is a form of Suzuka. 4-lane. Suzuka is a cool track. I love that there's a bridge and underpass. Midweek dry hire of Village Hall is fairly cheap here, and they all run at weekends as wedding venues, so plenty of tables. There you go. Yeah, Dave sounds like Dave's setting up a club. Where can I go to design a RR Carrera track that will fit in the space I have? Brandon, there is a website that you can go to. Oh, that reminds me. I posted the wrong link to my layout. So there is a web-based design tool. So hopefully that helps you out. Let's see here. Yeah, that would be cool. Hey, John Mark. Let's see. Oh, so there we go. Brandon had to find it. So yeah, I just posted that in the chat, Brandon. That is an online tool. But somebody had asked me for a copy of my existing layout, and I gave them the wrong version, a link to the wrong version last time. And I realized that after I looked at it. So I'm going to post the correct version if I can find it. still can't find it. I have got way too many versions of well, now I'm having problems finding it. Is this it? No, that is not it. Right there it is. There it is. All right. So here's my current layout in 4-lane. Yes, Steve, if you want to go 4-lane, I'm happy to take a look at it. Vin is 3-lane. Raul says, I have 500 foot of track with all the different curves, lane changers, etc., no set track. Thursday is a good day. Tom, did I see Massimo's new Ferrari? I did not. Did he get a new Ferrari? B2, yes, it's the Daytona. That's a response to John Albright. Question, Raul, are you selling a full career track? Hey, Blue Water. Oh, thanks, Blue Water. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in. Glad you were able to catch us live. But yeah, you can always, that's why we record them. You can always watch the replay in your own time. I know that people's lives are busy. Curvy, I built an aluminum frame with 2-inch rigid foam with the intent of lifting the track, but it grew into a bigger monster, and now I will be looking into wood tables. Gotcha, Curvy. Yeah, the 7/16 OSB is inexpensive, and we covered it with like marine grade carpet. Works great. Worked great. Johnny Pro, Thursday is new Revo slot card day. Nice. So I'll have to go out and chase down Massimo's new Ferrari. That's cool. Bruce gave me a bunch of straight pieces with cracks and holes in it, so I should be like driving downtown Cincinnati. That's great. Got a sweet slot car League of Champions. Got a sweet Skelectric Dodge Charger in the mail today. No race livery. That's cool. Yeah, some good stuff. It's 9:03. Wow. An hour went by. An update on the Corvette. Now, I know you guys are patiently awaiting the liveried cars, and I've noticed that a lot of people are starting to post that they've put some stripes on their cars and kind of created their own liveries with them. I think it's great. Question. What size super tires are people putting on these Corvettes? Because I've got a set of 14. These are 1402s, I think, and they're just a little too narrow. So I'm curious to know what people are putting on the Corvettes. So Steve, if you've put super tires on yours, Daryl, any of you guys that are super tire guys, what tires are you putting on? I'm guessing maybe 1403s, because these twos are just a little narrower. But all in all, this car is good. My next thing is I'm going to change the guide. This guide just doesn't do it for me. Daryl, 1403s. Okay, I kind of thought that's what it should be. I didn't have any new 1403s. I had a new set of 1402s, so I threw them on it. So I'm going to put some 1403s on it and change the guide. And I think that car will wake up. It's pretty good now. I mean, it's really good now, but I just think that it's got way more in it. I would suggest a trestle-type table for layouts. It allows you to create wider and shallower parts to the table for better marshaling, so everyone consider that. Yeah, I mean, I think that like one of the big things here is I've got a whole section of table that's open, which makes it impossible to marshal from that side. And so being able to shape your table, it's worth it. It's kind of Steve, I put 1407s on my NSR vet. Okay. 1407. I'm going to have to place an order tomorrow for some parts because I've got to get these cars tuned up. John Albright, we've got a live one here ready to join the cult of Revo. Lyric Currents. Yeah, you won't go. You will enjoy Revo slots. Marty, I'm going to send you my table size for you to try and better my layout. Yeah, Greg, send it to me. I've had a few people send me like their tables. And I have one that I just don't quite understand exactly what. They have all the pieces laid out, but it's like in 4 sections, and I just can't wrap my mind around the table. So I apologize for not sending the layout out to somebody, but off the top of my head, I can't remember who it is. Consco, maybe? I have to go back in my emails. So 1407s. Okay, thanks, Steve. Hey, Dominga. I never made it to Dayton, man. So I need to. So maybe this fall we'll get there, get to race with you guys on your turf since you come to Cincy Slots. But thanks for joining, man. No worries about being late. Or put the Thunder Slot wheels on it and run 2102. There you go. I guess if the rules permit that, I'd have to look at the NSR rules. I don't think that the NSR rules will permit that, but I know that's what you could probably run at Steve's or Butch's, the 24, right? Brandon, Raul, I sent you a Facebook friend request. Discuss the track stuff. There you go. I would like to add a few more Carrera straights, R4 turns, and a couple sets of R3 borders. Yeah, Chris, it all adds up, man. Tom, it's an F1 he picked up at the UK Slot Fest. It will be a shelf queen. Oh, okay. That's cool, Tom. Larry, I'll buy a 240Z if Revo puts one out. So they make in BRM makes a 240Z, but we haven't heard anything whether Revo is going to do a 240C. But I would say that of all the other companies, they're probably the one likely to do it. 1403s are not the best option on the vet. All the GT cars are going to take 1407, 809, depending on ride height. Okay. Thanks, Steve. Maybe that's my problem with my GT cars. My GT cars are just off pace. So I need to spend some time with them. That's funny. Have the C8 running solidly in Thunderslot territory now. Yeah, John, I kind of figured you would. It definitely has that potential to be right there. My Thunderslots, they run 4.9s. My Elva will run a 4.7 on this layout. And I'm down to 5.1s with the Corvette. So get a guide, maybe the right tires on it, and I think that'll be a game changer. I was wandering past the stall and caught Massimo feeding his addiction. I tried to make an intervention, but it was too late. You could try it, Dave. But Massimo and a Ferrari, I think it's already too late. I didn't know it was 17 millimeter wheels. Yeah. I needed to take them off and measure them. I hadn't done that yet. I built my C8 with the 25K big block, and it broke my track record. The car is insane. Man, I mean, that's... People are saying that it is the Mosler killer. Steve, is it an angle winder? Is yours... Oh, 25K big block. So you're running the 25K motor. Or did you change the pod? That's curious. Okay, cool. Monogram Shelby Cobra Daytona slot car number 54. That's the exact car. Yeah, B2. Cool. We'll try to get you some help with that. Plenty of Revo slots for everyone. That's right. You've got lots of choices. I mean, that is one thing that Revo Slot has done a great job, is they have produced cars. Like, there's lots of choices in Group 2. I mean, lots of choices in a short period of time. So those Group 2 cars have been out for a year and a half, and you have, I don't know, 25 liveries to choose from between all those different Group 2 cars. I don't know. I haven't counted them up. That's just a guess, but maybe it's more than that. I don't know. There is a lot to choose from. And so that's what makes it such a great club car, right? I mean, I've got the Alpha, and I've got 2 of the Datsuns, and they're just great cars. I don't know. I've got the 333 SP, the Ferrari. I don't know. There's like 12 different liveries in that car or more that they produced. You've got the 911 GT2s. There's a bunch of different liveries for that. I mean, you have tons of choices. Revo Slot has done it the right way. They're smart on how they release their cars in trios usually, and I think that's a great way. They're making lots of really good decisions as a slot car company, and the hobby is rewarding them for it, I think. I mean, I don't know what their corporate numbers are. I don't know what kind of sales that they've got, but it's obvious that with the number of cars that they're pumping out, that sales are strong and things are going well for them, and that's great. So thank you to all of you out there buying Revo slots. It just makes that brand stronger and keep pumping out great cars. Yeah, all the GT cars are 17mm wheel. Cool. Larry thought it was 124. It is. The BRM is 124. Dominga, I need a Revo white kit. Dominga, do you like to paint your own cars? I know Alan does, and so I don't know if that's you guys in Dayton. You like to do that. Yeah, you usually get the white kits a little cheaper, so that's always nice. Fly announced the Datsun 240Z a few years ago, but no sign of it yet. They may ruin it with their usual front motor and shaft drive, right? Yeah, John, you hit the nail on the head. I would have to agree with you. I'm not a fan of the front motored cars. Yeah, the 25K big block is the angle winder. So do you get a lot of mag effect with that? Because that's what I got in my Mosler, and that the Mosler will run 4 flat on my track. It's insane. Tom, yes. I've fixed my lap counting issues for the most part. I'm still experimenting with some things, but I did get the sensors that I was using to count accurately and not miscount, using Race Coordinator. And so I still have some miscounting issues when it comes to using some other programs, but I really think it's the Arduino code that might be causing it, and some just sensitivity things that if I knew a little more about code, I might be able to fix on my own. So, but yeah, I can run any and every car that I have without causing problems. 427 or 454, the big block, 25K. 15/8 on the C8 work a treat. Gotcha. Just kidding. I hear big block and I think of full scale cars. Yep. I bought the Sidewinder because they were sold out of the Angle, and I bought a new motor pod and dropped the 25K big block on it. It's a world beater. Is it going to be legal to run? Because that's, on plastic track, that car is going to stick because that motor has got a lot of magnetic downforce. So I wonder if they will be running magnet marshals and say that you have to be within a range, because that will change those national races, because running on a wood track with no magnet braid, that's a big difference. Yeah, I'll have to. So here is one with the 21K motor. So I've got one ready. I just don't have the Angle Winder spur gear. So I got to order in this. I've got a Slot Car Corner order. Actually, I've got a Bruce order too. That so I can pick up the right gears I need. So yeah, Revo White kits 2 at a substantial savings. Yeah. I like the extra hard motor pod as well. I know it's been criticized for cracking, but I think that's not the norm. Yeah. Revo Slot, 10 out of 10. Slot Car Hub, yes. Great cars. Really enjoy them. Would love to see 80s and 90s Japanese cars from a quality company. The Supra, the RX-7, 240, 280ZX, Celicas, yeah, Vin. I think we'll probably, as we drift down the road a little bit, we'll start seeing those. Yeah, I thought you might enjoy painting your own cars. That's cool. I wish I was good at it. I'm awful at painting cars, model cars. I don't know. I struggle with that. But yeah, going back to VIN, I think that you'll see that more and more of those coming. Just because we're starting to see them, like here, even in the States, the JDM stuff is going crazy. Like people are, are really enjoying getting those cars back out on the road. And there's a 280ZX in town that I know the guy that owns it. That he's, the weather's nice and he's got it out almost daily, at least every weekend. I pass him running around town, and it is in fantastic shape. My Buick only has a little old V6, Michael Squire. Your Buick with the I'm guessing the turbo V6. Focus on the interface of motor pod to chassis and the chassis to body smoothness. Got it. I like it. I don't want all my slot cars to handle like slot cars. Depends on what you're using it for. Poor front motor cars, they are so misunderstood. John, buddy, you and Daryl are about the only two people that I've met that can tune those darn things. So there is mag effect, but it's only about 12 grams. Okay, good to know. More than Sidewinder. Yeah, I mean, Sidewinders don't have they don't have any magnetic ground downforce. So not the standard motor that comes with. I mean, it is magnetic, but it doesn't really translate to the track. So instant 600 horsepower on a stock motor. Uh, 5-degree eccentrics get you low enough to really exploit that setup. Yeah, I have a set of those, Steve. I just need to commit to them to glue them in. Hey, Tad, what's up? Hope you're doing well. The 390 Robert Ferrara, the 392 Scat Pack. There you go. 15 grams or less, so it's legal. Okay. But you'll see everyone running that setup, right? I mean, if you don't, you won't be able to compete. That would be my guess. That's why we use wood magnets. I've heard maybe even 20 grams or less will be legal. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that, I don't know, before too long, we'll probably see the rules released for that. So that'll be interesting. But you have to remember the track will be way grippier than Carrera track. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't, here in the States, very few people have tried Scale Auto track. So it will be a new experience for everyone. Maybe you'll be producing too much grip. Tom, you gave Slot Car Corner all your money this week. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I was letting farm machinery discussion play out. Hemi, get a V6 with turbo. There you go. Yeah, my neighbor had a Grand National when we were growing up. He lived a couple blocks away, and that car was pretty bad. He was one of my tennis partners when I was a kid. I played doubles tennis with his dad, had a Grand National. Wissinger was his last name. He has since passed, which is sad. Too young. Australian NSR National Championships next month will have handout Sidewinder motors and tires as handouts for the entry fee. John, I could see that, trying to keep things an even playing field. I wouldn't mind that at all, honestly. I think that tires are such a big part of the game, and if you're a person that just doesn't have tons of experience with tire setup, then you don't really have a chance. And so I kind of like the idea of handout tires. It's still, you still got to know something, right, about them, but I think that's a good way to try to level the playing field. Everybody gets a good motor. Everybody gets tires. My old 5.3 Chevy has 290,000 miles on it. Nice. Oh, there's plenty of room for more painting videos, Dominga. But there are some good painting videos out there. Did anyone get the Iron Dames Lamborghini? I know Raul did. I'm guessing that was been a pretty popular car for Carrera. I think it's funny. I think that the pink cars tend to be pretty popular. Shotgun Dave's is an SRT. It came stock with the pedal commander. Nice. Robert, I'm back into slots. First was an Eldon set 6768 mid-2000 Scaly. Have a Carrera Retro Grand Prix. Nice. Sounds like a pretty good collection, Robert. Gary Dunmore has one but hasn't run it yet. Michael used to, never should have sold it. My dad's looking for one. On the way from Electric Dreams. Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen it in your RC country. Well, I agree that the track will make the car traction roll for sure. Yeah, Steve, I think it's definitely going to level the playing field, because everybody will be learning this first year on that track. So, but it'll be the guys who adapt quickly. Angle winders place more weight forward in the chassis, which can balance them better. I'm just, I don't know. I would choose a sidewinder over an angle winder, but I do like my sideways cars, and they're all angle winders. So maybe I need to give them more of a chance in SR cars. But we'll for sure have to weight the car accordingly. Owned a 240Z with 300 duration half lift cam and triple Webers. Embarrassed plenty of Mustangs. No hard feelings if you had one. No, Larry, that's cool. Robert got the analog stuff also in order to run. Oh, there you go. You're in good shape. Yes, hand out tires, but I think I'm totally fine with that. Yeah, I think so too. It's a rabbit hole. Tires, yes. Tires are a rabbit hole. Just focus on the fun. That's what we like. Steve, I was in school at Bridgeport when the police had the T-types and the 5.0 Mustangs. My mom had a Buick Skyhawk T-type, 1983, 84, and it was crazy how fast that four-cylinder was. The Iron Dame's Ferrari has been out, but not the Lamborghini. Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, Mark, I knew you're right. Yeah. Carrera released the Ferrari. For me, the fun Slot For me, the fun goes up the further the back steps out. Dave likes to drift. When we switched from silicone to soft rubber tires, and I think that's about as good as it gets for home track. And the surprise was that we no longer clean the track. Yeah, John talks about that too, Ben. Hey, Tom, thanks for joining us, man. Yeah, go count your slot cars. Never count your slot cars. Never count your selection. Happy birthday, Slot R. Yeah, happy birthday, Dave. Spending his birthday with us. How about that? Tires, I live in that rabbit hole and have fun doing so. Yeah, John, you are like a tire master when it comes to setting up tires. That's one thing. Everywhere we've gone, it's just been silicone, so we've not really had to do that. So we'll definitely have to figure that piece out. So Chris Freder has the Iron Dames Lambo on pre-order for his wife. She's a big fan, as she should be. What a great way to get more women into the sport of racing. Yeah. Man, guys, we did not accomplish a darn thing tonight. I could not get my phone to connect as a camera for some reason. So I got to figure that out by next week because I was going to show off some things on the track. But outside of that, we talked some slot car stuff, but nothing too crazy. A lot of Scale Auto talk. And it was interesting to see at the UK Slot Festival that, there were lots of tracks, different tracks that people can run on. Shout out to Doug and Ian. Man, their zombie track was awesome. What a fun track that looked like. Everybody was having a great time on it. But it would have been cool to get to try like the Polycar and try the Scale Auto track. And I really like to see how I would really like to work with a program to do some planning so I can really figure out what kind of layouts I could build on my space in Polycar and on Scale Auto. So I'm really, really curious. So, yeah. It's 2:30 on my birthday, and what am I doing? Watching Marty while my videos for you guys on Saturday Exports. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. Yes, Durango, Colorado is beautiful. My kids are not too far from Durango. Well, they actually are 4 hours from Durango, 3.5, something like that. Yeah, Fred. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's 9:30. We're gonna wrap things up, guys. Thanks for joining tonight. I really appreciate it. Sorry if it wasn't the most entertaining. I feel like not a lot happened this week as compared to last week in the slot car world. But we'll see what we'll have for next week. We'll be back on Tuesday. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate all the conversation that happens in the comments. That's really where all the fun is for me. But guys, I hope you have a great week. Hope you get some slot car time in. I think I'm going to try to run some laps. And just for Steve Sweeney, I'm going to run some laps with my my Skyline. So, guys, thanks for tuning in this week. Take care and go have fun racing.